nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to the Everett Show, a shot of entertainment to the head. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to ELS Live, baby, on YouTube. Want to give a quick shout out to all my followers on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett Lore Store Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Stop by there and click that like button. And also, EverettLeeShow.weebly.com, the official website of the Everett Lee Show. Let's cut the damn music. Tried to load up the right intro, but that's the old intro, but you know what? It works. Here we are, Birthday Smash Podcast. Before I start going into anything on this podcast, my thoughts and prayers go out to the victims of the Las Vegas shooting. I mentioned that last week, but I want to mention it again here at the start of this podcast. My thoughts and prayers go out to all the victims and everyone that got injured during that massacre of everything that happened. I don't know what else to say, though, but my condolences to that. And therefore, keep you in my thoughts, man. Everyone there during that tragedy. Well, I'm not joined here tonight with McShaft, but I do got a guest right here on the program. I got Chris Carnage. Here is Chris Carnage via live satellite. What's up, Chris?
Hey fans, this is Chris Carnage. I'm still stuck out on here this island. I'm still drinking coconut, and I had to put my urine in a Mr. Coffee and had to drink it to survive.
Oh, really, man?
Yeah, it's been really, really bad here in the last few weeks because I've been stuck out here, and it just drives me crazy.
Damn. McShaft mentioned that you were going to bring some coconut water. I mean, coconut flavor water. Did you happen to bring some?
No, I haven't, though, but I have something else better.
What else is better than Chris Carnage being on the program? So, Chris, do you have anything else you want to add?
Oh, yeah, I'll add all kinds of things, since how you're doing such a wonderful impression of your very own Chris Carnage.
Oh, damn. Is that the real Chris Carnage?
Oh, it is, fans.
Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, he's off the island. He's back in the States. Chris Carnage.
Hey, fans, it's been a long time. You know what? That island was a piece of crap. I was living over there like it was damn Castaway with my little volleyball Wilson next to me. It was just craziness. Just pure craziness. But you know what? I'm back, and I'm ready for tonight's show.
Hell yeah. I'm glad to have you back, man. I am so glad to have you back on the program tonight. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to go over here on
so much to go over.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to go over on this podcast.
And we even have a nice special guest tonight.
Oh yeah, I did hear something in the rumblings about having a guest tonight on the podcast.
Oh yeah, but you know, I want to touch back to something you touched on earlier, just because you know I feel bad. And obviously, I was not on the show last week, or for some time for that matter. But I definitely want to stretch out my condolences and my thoughts and prayers to everybody who was affected by the Las Vegas shootings. All my thoughts and prayers to all the friends and family of everybody that was affected. And just want to thank the first responders for trying to help as many people as they could. You know, it was a very crazy scene, and I don't wish that on anybody. And my thoughts and prayers to everybody out there.
Yes, definitely, man. Definitely. been missing you on the program with everything going on and stuff. It's been about like 10 episodes, I think, the last time you were on.
Something like that. I've been doing all kinds of craziness. That island was very unforgiving, but, it is what it is.
It is. And speaking of our guest, hello, caller. You're live on the Everett Lee Show.
What's going on?
What is up, man? Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the podcast this week is none other than Shawn Phoenix. What's up, Shawn?
Nothing, living the dream. Every day is a holiday. How are you guys?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty damn good, man. It's been a while since you've been on. Chris, you still there?
Couple months.
Chris? All right, let me get you on. Let me merge. Oh, looks like he failed the call. You there, Chris?
That I am.
All right, he's calling. All right, here we go. Let me add him. Shawn, you there?
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I thought it was Skype.
I
I
just,
usually have problems with
I was
Skype.
just abducted by aliens there.
Wow. Well, so how you been since the last time we talked to you? What's been going on, Shawn? What's been happening?
I've been busy. I've been pretty much wrestling every weekend all over. Pretty much don't wrestle in Pittsburgh anymore. I think the last time we talked, it was kind of looking like that's how it was going, but now it's pretty consistently not wrestling in Pittsburgh. Not really. Not that I'm proud of that. It's just so having the dates just haven't been lining up. But yeah, I've been wrestling all over, mainly Ohio, Eastern PA, and stuff like that. Having a blast. Really feeling it now, though. What's new with you guys?
Oh, it's the same old, same old. We had a hurricane run through us here, and I had to evacuate. I had to run up to Tennessee, and I believe Chris lost power, and he had to evacuate his house.
No, I ended up riding it out here in Florida because that's just how carnage is.
Hurricanes are stupid.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
I'm glad you guys are okay. Because even though I was nowhere near it, like still knowing that I had friends down there was, a really scary thing. Growing up and constantly seeing hurricanes hit like America, like that wasn't a big deal. But now that I'm older and now I have friends in the southern states, it's like, oh no, like now I obviously really have to. I care about this, Like I didn't put any thought into it as a kid, but I'm very glad you guys are okay.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I had to. Yeah,
You know what, though? I feel like I put up with these for so long. I've gotten so used to them, especially way back in 2004. We got hit by 4 over a course of like a month and a half. And I tell you what, I felt so tempered after that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it was bad.
I can imagine.
These days, I don't freak out unless it's above a Cat 3.
Well, wasn't the most recent one like a category like 4 or something like that?
I think it hit 5, but by the time it got to us, it had already downgraded, I think, all the way to a 2. So we ended up being very lucky in that respect. So it came through South Florida, and still the winds, though, tore up a lot of the power lines, brought down a lot of trees, a lot of damage. I was out of power for nearly a week, but we were just lucky that we were in a position to be able to stay with people, and, everything ended up being fine.
Yeah, that's good. Now, like, how do you like your daily jobs? Like, how do they treat that? Like, are they like jerks about it? Like, oh no, you guys got to be here. Or do they know, like, oh yeah, there was a hurricane. Like, don't come into work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or did they evacuate too?
Yeah.
No, what's funny about that is the governor actually passed legislation stating that a job cannot try and penalize you in any way, shape, or form, or reprimand you for being able to protect life and property. So at the end of the day, a hurricane is a natural disaster, so you have every right to be able to protect yourself and evacuate if necessary.
Right, that's good.
Yeah. I told my job. I said, I'm out of here, man. I'm leaving. I'm taking my wife. I'm taking my 7-month-old daughter, and I'm taking my dog, and I'm heading up north. And I'll tell you what they talked about on the news with all the traffic and stuff on I-75, they were not joking,
Yeah.
man. Oh, God. It took, I had to go up to Tennessee. It took me about almost 20 or 15 hours just to get up there, and it usually takes me about 10 hours. Yeah. It took me
We know what's
15
funny about
hours.
that is that you took I-75. If you took a look over on I-95, they decided to take southbound lanes and make all lanes northbound. So people were driving on both sides of the highway trying to get out of the state.
Oh, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, it's smart.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
And it was jammed, and it took people a long time to go.
It did. It did, especially people pulling off trying to get gas and stuff. And I stayed up in Tennessee for a few days, and then I turned around and came back. I stopped in Georgia at my aunt's house, stayed the night, and next day we just drove back, and we hit Jacksonville, and Jacksonville was pretty rough. I almost got sideswiped by some idiot because the stoplight was out, and we had to stop and then, just go, and I'm going, and this lady in an SUV tried to sideswipe me, and then we're headed down US 1, which led right into Daytona, and I'm sitting there driving along, traffic's all congested, I'm going in and out of traffic, and those trucks that happen to come down, the tree trucks or whatever it is, we're sitting there just 4 or 5 of them in one row, just cruising along real slow, and then just all the traffic, afraid to pass them. I got up there and I passed them and I floored it, and my wife's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "I'm getting us home." So I floored it, passed them.
Yeah.
Open highway. I looked back. I said, "Look at that, man. Look at that shit back there." It's like they're afraid to pass them. Yeah, it was messed up. It was. But all in all, my house, it was intact. I had a bunch of trees that fell down in the backyard, which didn't survive last time, really, from last year from Matthew. I knew another hurricane would knock them down, and that happened. My fence that got took up came back up again, and that's leaning up against neighbor's fence. I'm still trying to get that thing fixed, and it's just a lot of stuff, man. Just
You know what was great about it for me, though, is that I came home, the house was fine, not a tree down. It took me 30 minutes to clean the yard, and then I was just sitting there drinking lemonade.
Good.
Yeah.
I felt very lucky.
Yeah, that's basically what we had to deal with here in the last couple months or so. But what else has been going on as of lately? Since you mentioned that you're not wrestling in PA, what else is happening with Shawn Phoenix?
Just trying to make it day by day, man. Let's see. I've been going to a lot of concerts lately. Summertime is prime concert season, so been able to do that. Mm-hmm. I'd say if I wasn't in professional wrestling, I'd probably be involved in the music industry somehow. Like I've never played an instrument, but like I'm so passionate about music that like that seems to be the thing that I would be involved in. And like I'm also curious. Oh yeah?
Just saying.
All right. Well, may have to cross some T's and dot some I's. I probably wouldn't be any good though. But like I'm curious if like I have any like relatives or anything that are like, because like I know like I took my mom's side of the family and they're all athletes, so I get that's where the wrestling side of me comes from. But like I don't have any musicians in my family, but I feel a calling to music. Mm-hmm. So I got to do some digging on that. But yeah, I mean, just living life, wrestling every weekend, starting to feel it now. Injured my back in August, actually, moving some furniture. And,
not even wrestling?
No, not even. See, it's funny. I get hurt in real life more than I do wrestling. When I'm in the squared circle, I'm invincible. Like, yeah, it sucks, but like, it's all worth it. Like there's a crowd. I'm doing what I love. Like I expect it. So whenever my guard's down, that's when it sucks. Because then I just get hurt for no reason, and then I have to go into my next match sore, and I don't even have anything to show for it. But yeah, I hurt my back in August, and then ended up wrestling 2 days later, which was a stupid move.
I've done that.
I did my Falcon Arrow suplex, and immediately, like, all the pain just, like, radiated to my side, and, like, had to be helped backstage. That sucked. I was in a lot of pain after that. So that hasn't been feeling well. And then I re-injured it recently, like about a month ago. Let's see. No, maybe early October. I was helping load something into a car, and I pulled it again. So I knew I had 4 matches that upcoming weekend, so I went to an urgent care, which normally I wouldn't go. Like, I know it's just a pulled muscle. It's no big deal. Just, relax it. But I knew I had 4 matches. So, like, they gave me this injection of something, and it seemed to really help. But, yeah, that kind of sucks. And, like, I was fine. I did the 4 matches, no big deal. But I am still, like, in pain, just not as bad. So I have a couple appointments coming up with a doctor. He thinks it may have did something to my discs.
Right.
And I've been seeing a chiropractor regularly for, like, a year now. And it's just not getting any better. Basically, I can't twist my upper body. So that sucks. And then I wrestled the Barbarian from the Powers of Pain.
Yeah.
Early September. And I did a dive onto him, and I cracked my head off the floor pretty hard. Ended up busting myself open, which I didn't know I hurt myself that bad. But I cracked my head off the floor. Everything went numb. And the first thought was, okay, can I feel my fingers? Yes. Can I feel my toes? Yes. Where am I? I'm in Cleveland. Today's date is September 9th. Okay, I'm good. But, like, fast forward to early October, late September, I'm noticing I'm, like, kind of forgetful now. I'm forgetting where I put my keys, forgetting where I put, my charger, just, like, stupid things. And, like, I have a busy life, but it's not that busy where I can't remember where I put something an hour later. So I actually just got diagnosed with a concussion either yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't even remember what day it was.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so I have a slight concussion, and I've wrestled since. But, like, I'm fine. It's nothing too bad. The doctor isn't concerned. I did get diagnosed with post-concussive syndrome in 2012, and, like, I took a lot of impact tests, physical therapy. I'm fine. So, like, they were actually able to compare my test scores this time to then. So they were able to see, yeah, you're not as good as you were, but you're not as bad as you were. So they think I should be good within, like, a month. I have to do a couple exercises back at home, which I actually forgot to do today. And they want me to take a day off. They want me to take a weekend off if I wanted to. But I'm wrestling Sunday. I took Friday off just because other things. I couldn't really make it to Cleveland anyway. So I'm like, all right, this must be a sign. I've got bad tires. I got a concussion. You know what? I'm not really going to try and push it. This is a sign.
Right.
I'm taking Friday off.
Yeah.
I'm taking Friday off. I have Saturday off regardless for a family thing. Then I have an easy match on Sunday. It's a charity show for some of the flooding that we got up here, actually, because we had a very wet summer, and an area down in West Virginia kept getting flooded. So we're doing a benefit show for that.
Yeah. That's good.
That is.
But, that comes with the territory with me, all these injuries.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and you definitely got to be careful with it because I noticed from my years from wrestling and playing football that, CTE has become a very prominent thing recently, chronic traumatic encephalopathy. So it definitely got to watch out for those things because I know I took some nasty shots and I've had my fair share of concussions. So it's something definitely to watch out for. So definitely be careful.
Yeah,
definitely. And that was the thing that surprised me is the doctor I saw, she wasn't too concerned with it. She thinks that
really?
A lot of doctors are blowing it out of proportion. Where she believes that you're at a risk for CTE if you get concussions on top of concussions. So, like, if I got another concussion today, she'd be concerned. But, like, she doesn't think there's long-lasting effects just for every little concussion. It's the multiple, which kind of surprised me because I thought that they were all worried about, scar tissue and stuff like that from just having a concussion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But, yeah, she's not too concerned, which is good.
Yeah, hopefully that's true, just because, definitely that would be good. But I have heard of that where compounding concussions could become an issue, especially with the one, who is that one BMX rider? Dave Mirra had the issue, David Hoffman and whatnot. So, definitely. So hopefully that would be the case, and it shouldn't affect you too bad.
Yeah. But I'm still going to be careful. Like, I've learned to, I did a dive where I did a front flip out of the ring rather than a moonsault, and I feel like if I do a moonsault, I can land on my feet easier. Like I feel more comfortable doing that. So if there's no padding, definitely not going to be doing any front flips to the outside. You know, I got to learn how to, you know, adapt to my environment a lot better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, accidents happen.
Yeah, it
I finished
does.
the match though.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm sure that impressed him, Barbarian.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm on your Facebook page here, and I've been seeing a lot of posts and stuff, and you posted something up on October 6th about the weatherweight wrestling right there. You got you with Alex Jordan and Shawn Phoenix against Eye Candy Elliott and Tyler Nitro.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I believe we talked about welterweight wrestling the first time
Right.
I talked. I don't remember for sure though, but basically it's a company based on guys 185 pounds and lighter, because guys in the main event are what were cruiserweights.
Right.
So now wrestling is becoming a lot smaller. Guys aren't 6'10", they're not 200 pounds. So it's basically it's now a company based on an even playing field, and I'm really excited for that. It's going to be on pay-per-view. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. I've teamed with Alex Jordan once before on the first pay-per-view. So we have a little bit of advantage as Tyler Nitro and Eye Candy Elliott haven't teamed before. So that's cool. We've been texting back and forth trying to come up with ideas for tag team moves. We haven't come up with a tag team name, though, because we didn't realize that this was because originally the first show, it was supposed to be me and my partner, Aiden Bale, but Aiden Bale got hurt, and Alex Jordan was a fill-in for me. But now it looks like we might be teaming a lot more often. So now we have to come up with a tag name, come up with matching gear, come up with moves. And the thing that's kind of hard is he lives about 4 hours away from me. So it's not like we can go hang out and practice these things. It's
Right.
we have a small window of when we can mesh ideas and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But I'm excited. We'll be on pay-per-view, which is really cool. So people will get to watch live around the world. And like the first show was so much fun because of the professional environment. I've never been a part of that, seeing a camera operator backstage, seeing like 5 monitors with different angles. It was so cool. I'm so excited for this. So
Now, when they
I'm not
go to
gonna
watch
ask
it on pay-per-view, what do they have to search for?
you just go on welterweightwrestling.com and there'll be information to fill it out. I think there's a link at the top that says watch. Actually, let me check right now real quick. I'm gonna vamp for a bit to keep the audio going. Okay, there we go. At the top, it's iPay-per-view DVD/MP4. You click that, you'll scroll down, and it'll be information to order it. It is a $15 fee, a little bit more expensive than I would like, considering that the WWE is $9.99. I feel like most companies should be $9.99.
Right.
Makes sense.
But I mean, yeah, I'm not the creator of this. That's their vision.
Right.
But I do know like they were thinking about maybe doing some like rebate thing where if you enter in a wrestler's name that you purchased to see, you will get $5 back or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's the thing they're going to be doing.
That's nice.
And I see that, yeah, and that's cool for us as wrestlers because now the management will see who's getting eyes on the product. So
Right.
if there's a lot of people typing in Shawn Phoenix, the manager's going to see, wow, there's an audience for Shawn Phoenix. We may put him in more opportunities and stuff like that.
Which
or they
everybody
may
listening should put him in.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everyone, please support
Yes.
this company because we'd like to take it on the road. As of right now, we're based in Cleveland, but that'd be really cool to be able to take it on the road. Like I know there's a couple traveling companies, Big Time Wrestling. They do that. They'll bring in guys. We're hoping to make this a special thing, So if one person from this podcast orders it, that'd be amazing. I feel accomplished.
Right.
So.
Right.
And if anybody does order it, shoot me a message on Facebook. I'll send you a free 8x10. How about that?
Hell yeah. Can't go wrong with that,
That's-
ladies and
that's a
gentlemen.
class act.
You cannot go wrong with that. You can't. Speaking of wrestling promotions, one thing me and Chris were talking about was just recently WWE sent a cease and desist to the Young Bucks for doing the Too Sweet Jester. And basically they took that and turned it around and made a t-shirt out of it, which basically became like one of the like top selling t-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees. But all in all, with the WWE having like sending out a cease and desist to the Young Bucks, who are they've wrestled all over the place for a lot of indie promotions. How do you feel about WWE sending something out to a couple of indie wrestlers popular like the Young Bucks and saying you can't use a hand gesture? What's that make you feel about what WWE is doing there?
Well, I'd like to pick my words carefully here, because I don't know if I'm going to be working with either of these entities in the future. I'll just say, if it were me, it'd be a clash of interest. I could see why they'd want to protect their intellectual property. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I feel like doing something like that shows that the opposition is a threat, and I would have expected them to not do that. I remember TNA was constantly barking at WWE all the time, barking at WWE, and it made them look really Bush League. And WWE just simply never acknowledged them. And by doing that, it made WWE seem like the top-tier wrestling company. So the fact that they sent out a cease and desist to these independent wrestlers, albeit I don't know how independent they actually are. They're pretty much the top guys that aren't signed to WWE.
Right.
But they work New Japan, Ring of Honor, stuff like that. I think it says a lot about how they feel about their star power. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't be sending out a cease and desist letter to Joe Schmo in Biloxi, Mississippi, because nobody knows about him. But the fact that they did that, they're on WWE's radar and they're scared. Mm-hmm. That's how I think. Now, I hope that they'll be able to financially afford that, any legal fees, because that sucks. I don't wish legal fees on anybody, especially an unsigned independent contractor. But it's opened my eyes a bit. I didn't expect it, and I know they didn't either.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely didn't. Awesome view looking at this. I've been getting different views about it and just hearing people out, and that's awesome to hear from someone who's an independent wrestler who's wrestled in a few promotions or mini promotions and just having that take on it. Thank you. That is awesome.
Of course.
We're gonna
wrap. I'm sorry. What was you gonna say?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say we're about to wrap this up right here.
I already forget what I was gonna say.
You gotta remember, this man has a concussion right now.
That's right. Well, I was going to say we're about to wrap this up, and Chris, do you want to add anything before we close out?
All I got to say, it's great to talk to you again. I'm so happy to have you back on the show, and definitely take care of yourself. And one thing I do want to ask and want you to go ahead and throw out there is some upcoming dates you have coming up, maybe, so somebody can come out and come see you.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad this worked out. I got a message last minute. So I'm really glad I was able to fit this in. Upcoming appearances, I was prepared and I wrote these down. October 15th, Black Diamond Wrestling for that flood benefit show. I will be wrestling Edric Everhart. That is in Benwood, West Virginia. I will be making a appearance at Freelance Wrestling. I'm not going to say what I'll be doing, but that's in Chicago, Illinois, October 20th. October 21st, I may be appearing at PCW in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not sure because that is the day before welterweight wrestling, which takes place in the same area. And I know that the owner would like to kind of splice up the talent a bit so the fans there they're not forced to watch the same wrestlers twice. So I may be there hanging out. I may be back in Pittsburgh going to a Ministry concert. I don't know. Either way, if you're going to the concert, let me know. October 22nd is the welterweight wrestling episode 2, where it's me and Alex Jordan versus I Candy Elliott and Tyler Nitro. That'll be live on iPay-per-view. Purchase that on welterweightwrestling.com. Enter promo code Shawn Phoenix. And to wrap up the month of October, as of now, my last booking is October 28th, True Wrestling. I was scheduled to wrestle Tony Deppen, but I've recently been informed that he cannot make it. So I'm not sure who I will be wrestling. That is in, oh crap, I forgot to write this one down. Montgomery, PA, I believe it is. So if you're in the area, please come check it out. Good company.
Oh,
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's that Tony Deppen can't make it. I haven't seen that human in a while.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's on fire lately.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool. That is awesome. Well, Shawn, thank you so much for stopping by ELS and hanging out with us, and we'll
thank you.
We'll hear from you again.
Always a pleasure, my friend.
All right. You
Always
have a good
pleasure.
night. We'll keep in touch.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right, you too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Shawn Phoenix, man. It's been a while since we talked to him, Chris, man. He's been pretty busy, and that sucks, man, about the concussion. Man.
But those things happen, and I remember what it was like wrestling and having to wrestle shows all the time, and you're going to take some bumps and bruises. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit more. You're going to end up with a concussion, broken arm. You never know what's going to happen. So, as long as you take care of yourself, usually you can make it through just about anything. I was less fortunate because I had a lot more traumatic of an injury, but, Shawn Phoenix is a guy who's able to take care of himself real good. So I'm sure he'll be able to get over this and get right back in the saddle, whooping people's asses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely. He definitely will. And it sounds like he's pretty busy here this month and into next month, man. It does.
Yeah, and that's good stuff. And everybody listening needs to go ahead and check him out. He's a guy I've known for a really long time, an amazing talent, great charisma. You need to try and check him out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most definitely. Check out Shawn. Check out his Facebook page, man. His Facebook page, he's constantly updating and putting stuff on there.
And he has merchandise, so go hit him up. He has all kinds of cool stuff. Like you mentioned earlier, he has 8x10s. Pretty sure he has other little knickknacks, some shirts and stuff going on. So definitely go check out Shawn Phoenix on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely check out Shawn, man, because you won't be disappointed. We had him on previously this a few months ago this year on an episode. I can't think of the top of my head which episode number it was.
I know, it was like 3-4 months ago, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. But it was a good episode, just talking with Shawn, man. It was fantastic. And you should just check out Shawn. I mean, it's...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, it is definitely awesome.
But to switch one gear from another, how about this WWE lately?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely about what's been happening with WWE. This past Sunday was Hell in a Cell. I'd like to start there, but before I do that, Chris, I'd like to throw some announcements out there real quick to the listeners and viewers of the show here.
Let's do it.
I want to mention to people about City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida. That's what I want to mention.
Oh, yeah.
If you like
what else is great? They got some new brews in there. Now they've done a little bit of remodeling. The whole back area is a lot bigger. They got a bunch of TVs, and now they serve their own food. And I tell you what, it is amazing.
That is. If you like to kick back a few cold ones with your friends while watching your favorite sports program, then City Limits Tap Room is the place to be. City Limits Tap Room has a wide selection of TVs to watch your favorite sports with your friends. City Limits Tap Room has pool tables for pool players and dartboards, among other things to do while you kick back your favorite draft brew with indoor and outdoor seating. City Limits Tap Room is also the host of ELS Draft Tuesdays. Stop by the last Tuesday of the month for a live recording of the show. Tuesday nights is Guys Night with half-off draft beer starting at 9 p.m. City Limits Tap Room is located at 2620 North Woodland Boulevard in DeLand, Florida. And as Chris mentioned, they did remodel their place and they serve food now. Amazon.com. If you like shopping at Amazon.com, then head over to EverettLeeShow.weebly.com and click on the Amazon banner links on the site. By clicking on the links, you give a little bit back to the website and to the podcast. If you get your accessories from Amazon.com, then use all the links on the EverettLeeShow.weebly.com website for all your Amazon shopping needs today. Well, Chris, let's talking about WWE. Did you catch Hell in a Cell this past Sunday?
Oh, absolutely, and I tell you what, that was some insanity.
Oh, it was, man. It was. Hell in a Cell was the Smackdown brand this month for WWE. And I'll tell you one thing about Hell in a Cell. This right here made you forget about No Mercy. No Mercy was earlier this month or at the end of last month, but you totally forgot about No Mercy after watching this pay-per-view. This pay-per-view, it started out from the get-go with the tag team match. You had the New Day defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championship belts against the Usos in a Hell in a Cell tag team match.
Or the titles, which has not happened in a really, really long time from what I understand.
I know. When's the last time you seen a tag team title match in a Hell in a Cell?
I'm trying to remember the last time I saw a tag team match in a Hell in a Cell, and to be perfectly honest, I think the last one they ever had was when they had DX versus the McMahons.
I think so, yeah. That was like basically the last one. The Usos and New Day, they pulled out all the stops for this match. They went underneath the ring and they pulled out chairs, they pulled out cymbals, chains, kendo sticks, whatever the hell you can think of. And they used all of it and even used the fencing of the cell to their advantage. What do you think about when I think it was Jimmy or Jay got kendo sticked over in the corner, man?
Honestly, that looked so legit, and it looked like it hurt like hell. I tell you what, I thought he was legitimately injured from those shots. It just looked so brutal.
Yeah, it was bad, man. It was, especially Xavier Woods' head bouncing off the cell, off the fence, man. You knew that. I mean, he was selling, but that was actually like selling, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It rattled the hell out of his head, man. It did. It was what I expected. This, both teams basically, it's like, beginning of the match saying, screw it. Let's just pull everything out. Let's pull everything out. I'm surprised they didn't pull out the kitchen sink and use that too. But they used everything.
For real.
I know. They used everything. And it was one hell of a match. I didn't even know who the hell was going to win. I was like, is New Day going to retain? Usos going to win? What the hell's going to happen? But in the end, the Usos picked up their 5th title victory over the New Day. One hell of a match, man. One way to kick off a pay-per-view. And it went on and on, man. I mean, there were some good matches, some matches that wasn't that really that like especially the Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler match. I was hoping more out of that match, and I was kind of disappointed. I don't know how you feel about that.
There were certain parts of it that were good, but honestly, I think it's just because they haven't been working each other that long. So, there's always a feeling out process when you start working with a new wrestler. So, right. These guys did come from two kind of totally different type of background, because Bobby Roode ended up coming up through a different kind of system, ended up in TNA, while Dolph Ziggler was more of a collegiate wrestler who ended up just starting in WWE. So, a little bit different of style, so they might not be meshing well right now, but I don't think the rivalry is going to be over for the moment. So hopefully there'll be better matches down the line. But, I feel the match could have been better than what it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it could have been a lot better. I didn't really like the finish with the roll-up. I want to see Bobby hit his glorious DDT and just kill Ziggler with a clean 1, 2, 3. But, that's what we got there. But the match of the night, or actually the main event, to me, was one of the matches of the night, which was Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens.
That match was utterly amazing.
That was a grudge beat you down match. It wasn't a wrestling match.
Oh, yeah.
It was a street fight,
Well, so I can interrupt you real quick just to put it how gruesome this match was to the listeners. Mm-hmm. Shane McMahon ended up with so many injuries, including a dislocated shoulder, neck trauma, and broken ribs from this match.
I know. That's really, really bad. I don't know when we're going to see Shane McMahon again, but he went through hell. And what was the twist at the end? Because I knew with the Falls Count Anywhere, I figured someone would be coming in and helping Shane retain a victory over Kevin Owens for what he did to Vince McMahon. I was hoping Triple H would show up, but we didn't get Triple H. When Shane was on top of the cell, I briefly want to say, what the hell do you think about, man, those landing those falls and those backdrops on top of that cell, man, and just hearing the crunching sound? Dude, man, what'd you think about that?
What was crazy about it, I was totally expecting like 2000 Triple H and Cactus Jack, where one of them was going to go through it, You ended up with pop-up power bombs, all kinds of plexes, all kinds of... It was just insane. I was just ready for that thing to fall apart, but it held up.
It did.
But
it held up.
I tell you what didn't hold up, both of those announce tables.
No, they didn't. First, the Spanish announcer table, as always, that went when Kevin fell off halfway off the cell and fell through it. And then Shane could have ended it, but then he looked up at the top of the cell, and everyone expected Shane to jump off the cell. And what did he do? He got back up there. Owens was on that table. And one thing I do got to mention, I don't know if you noticed this, though, but they on the announce tables, they got rid of the old monitors now. They got the little, flat screen, tablets
flat
now.
Screens.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I noticed that. I was like, expecting, throw the top off and reach in and pull out the monitors. Now they got those little flat screen, little monitors now, which I think is better because, talent won't get hurt trying to pull those out, or they forget to pull them out of the table and they crash and burn on them.
Right.
But
right.
Shane climbed up the top of that cell and he basically said his prayers and dove off, and Kevin Owens moved out of the way. But he actually didn't move out of the way. Sami Zayn pulled his ass out of the way, and it was the big twist there. It's like, oh my God, Sami just saved Kevin Owens? And then while the EMTs were trying to, get Shane out of there, Sami took Kevin and threw him on top of Shane right there, and they counted 1, 2, 3, and Kevin Owens won. Everyone's like, why, Sami? Why? What'd you think about that, man? I mean, what's your take on Sami Zayn just showing up and saving Kevin Owens?
Well, this is the heel turn we've been waiting for, honestly, and I had a feeling at some point these two would end up working together just because, these two have known each other an extremely long time, and if you know anything about their NXT rivalry and everything that was put into that, you know what kind of history they have. So at the end of the day, I was extremely surprised to see Sami Zayn, of all people, coming out, because like you, I was expecting Triple H to come and, save the day for Kevin Owens, but it ended up being Sami Zayn. So it's very interesting how that worked out, but I was surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was definitely surprised by that. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? But we find out Tuesday what the real intentions were. All in all, we can let's see here. We could jump right into SmackDown, or do you want to hit Raw first?
You know what, we're already rolling. Let's go ahead and hit SmackDown.
Okay. All in all, I just want to ask you before we close on talking about Hell in a Cell, what was the match of the night for you?
Honestly, out of all the matches, the match of the night for me, just because of the sheer ferocity of the match, was Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon Hell in a Cell.
Okay.
They just brought it, and honestly, with what they put themselves through, how they told their story in that match, it all just came together so wonderfully. And another reason is because Shane McMahon is a damn madman, and you have to put his match first. That man put his life literally on the line for the entertainment of that crowd.
He did. Definitely. I am going to have to say, yeah, with the big twist up until the main event, the match of the night to me was the New Day and the Usos. This match, I'd have to say, is the match of the night, and the second best match of the night, we're going to have to go with the tag team. Two of the matches I was looking forward to turned out to be the best match of the night for me. So, yeah. All in all, this pay-per-view, it blew away No Mercy, and it delivered. This pay-per-view delivered.
I have to absolutely agree.
Yes, it definitely did. It definitely did. But since we're talking about Smackdown now, Smackdown, we didn't get to see no Shane McMahon. We didn't get to see no, Shane McMahon didn't even show up on Smackdown, which was a shock. I figured he'd come out, and say something about the match, but
no, I knew Shane McMahon wasn't going to show up. That man is way too injured to probably be even out of a hospital bed right now, let alone be at an actual show.
Yeah. I was waiting, like everybody else, for Sami Zayn's explanation. And Kevin Owens came out, and he talked about Shane McMahon's gone. There's no more. And he had an out-of-body experience where he went to heaven, and St. Pete said, Kevin, you need to go back because we don't need you right now. So he said his soul went back into his body, and he was sent a guardian angel named Sami Zayn. And he called Sami out, and he brings him out there, and he wants to congratulate Sami. And Sami gave the explanation. He bought into Shane McMahon's BS about the land of opportunity here at SmackDown. He had no opportunity. He basically put a smile on his face. He carried the WWE Universe on his back, and it got him nowhere. And it's because of the WWE Universe he pointed the finger at them because he's got nowhere because of them. So there's heat right there. There's your booing. There's your heel turn right there. And also, he said when he was watching the Hell in a Cell match, actually, back this up a little bit. Right before the match with Kevin Owens and Shane, he ran into Shane in the hallway, and he warned him. And Shane didn't listen and brushed him off like he was nothing. And that's how he felt with the WWE Universe on his back. More heat. Then he was watching a match, and he saw what was happening, and he had to go out there and do something. And he had to do something for his best friend, Kevin Owens. And he knew they had differences and everything, but he had to do that because it was the right thing to do. Pretty big explanation on that, I mean, just it was kind of corny.
I think it's just there to help set up his heel turn because, with everything he's putting in, it makes sense, especially if you know the history between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So,
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. It was something, man, to see the heel turn. It's going to be something fresh for Sami, to do something.
But here's my question for you. Where do you think they're going to take this?
I think both of them are going to kind of go, run shot there on SmackDown. They're going to defy Daniel Bryan while Shane's out and recovering. If Shane comes back next week, I wouldn't be surprised to confront Owens and to confront Sami for what he did. But I figured during all this, Daniel Bryan would come out and say something about it, but he didn't. And now I figured maybe this is going to go on for a while. What if Owens pulls what he did with Jericho on Sami, and he's like, yeah, thanks for the help, I don't need you. How surprised would you be if that happened? Would you?
Sorry, I muted myself again, and my stuff started messing up, so I don't even know what you said. You gotta love technical difficulties when it comes to computers.
I was just asking if What if Owens turns on Sammy after a while and he's like, well, thanks for your help, but I don't need you anymore. And he does what he did to Jericho. Would you be too surprised about that?
No, I would not be surprised at all, honestly, because you got to look at the nature of Kevin Owens and even what Sami Zayn could pull, because, Kevin Owens might even be alerted to a false sense of security with Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn might try to turn on him. So, there's a lot of ways this could go, but I would not be surprised in the slightest if Kevin Owens ended up dropping Sami Zayn like a bad habit.
Yeah, that could possibly happen right there. With them.
Of course, I don't think it'll be another, festival of friendship or anything, but,
Yeah. I don't expect to see another festival of friendship. We already seen that, man. That would be something if they did rehash that, but in a way I kind of feel like they're kind of rehashing the Jericho Owens thing, but I think this might be different this time around since these guys have a closer friendship than what Jericho and Owens has, Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true. So, it could go a bunch of different ways. But one thing I also kind of look at now is, does Kevin Owens go back into the main event scene now with this Sami Zayn having his back? Everybody knows the Jinder Mahal angle is going to end up ending at some point. Mm-hmm. Especially, I feel, because AJ Styles also lost to Baron Corbin in his rematch for the U.S. title on SmackDown. So, with that being said, do we see Kevin Owens and AJ Styles get pushed back into that main event scene?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing after AJ's lost the belt to Baron Corbin in that triple threat on Hell in a Cell, and he lost with his rematch with Baron Corbin. AJ Styles, I want to see him go back into the main event picture, because if he goes into the main event picture, then we know that with Shinsuke and Jinder, with everything going on with that, then I'd like to see that. Got McShaft on the live chat here, and he basically mentioned, he's like, they're going to make Zayn and Owens the new two-man power trip like they did Austin and Triple H. I wouldn't see that surprising. That's a good point. That is a very, very good point right there.
My thing with that, though, is I could see them trying to do that to an extent, but the thing was with the two-man power trip is that both men were so entrenched in what they had already done, all their successes, all the classic matches for the IC title, for the WWF title at the time. Those men were entrenched, so when they joined forces, it was a shockwave. Mm-hmm. With this is something you can almost semi-expect, but it's something they had to present to you first, and then you sit, brew on it, and be like, you know what, this actually does make a lot of sense. But Sami Zayn has not done a whole lot title-wise in that type of success, I feel, to be able to try and carry a two-man power trip type of moniker. Kevin Owens, sure, he's been a Universal Champion. He's had a lot of success, and he's been in a lot of big moments. Mm-hmm. Sami Zayn, though, I don't feel the same about. So, maybe, but we'll really see what WWE tries to pull on everybody.
Right. It's going to be interesting going out right now and seeing what the hell is going to be going on with what they're going to be doing on SmackDown. There's stuff they could develop and get things rolling now with AJ out of the U.S. title picture, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, what they're going to be doing, and how Shane going to react to his loss to Hell in a Cell when he does come back. It's going to be something, man. It definitely is. Monday Night Raw, man. The Shield reunited. McShaft mentioned that they might be what Zayn needs to capture a title, have Owens interfere and help Zayn capture something. That's true. They could actually form together a tag team and, go run after the Usos. That's a possibility too. But good point.
Could be some good matches.
Yeah. The Shield reunited. You had Miz run his mouth about Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns comes out. He gets his typical boo. Then you got Ambrose comes out with a good pop, and then the place went crazy. The fanboys, went crazy, shit themselves because all three members of the Shield were standing right there. They ran gunshot to the ring. They took out the Miztourage. They did the triple power bomb, which I haven't seen, and the place went crazy. All the girls screaming, "Oh my God!" just everything, you know. All the fanboys wetting themselves, like, oh my god, man, the Shield's back. But one thing about this is people, the casuals, can basically, you know, see like their group is all, you know, together and they're all happy and everything. But if you really look at the big picture, Chris, Lesnar and John Cena's not going to be around for a while. They're basically throwing the Shield back together to sell tickets to the next pay-per-view that Raw's going to be hosting. You know, I mean, you can have three guys. I kind of agree and disagree with this right here. You got three guys that basically took out Braun Strowman. Not one, not two. It took three guys to basically beat down Braun Strowman and powerbomb him through the table. And then you got Booker running off, man, like, you know, just running the hell out of there. His dreads fell out and he took off. And then Corey Graves' tattoo ran off his skin because it was like, oh my God, you know, no one's ever really manhandled Braun Strowman like that, you know?
Oh, definitely.
Booker's like, yeah, man, that's a messed up something, yeah, sucker, yeah, something, you know, all night after that. He wasn't the same. Braun wasn't the same after his ass went through the table. All in all, I get it. I thought that was neat, but I still go back. It's like you reformed the Shield to sell tickets to the next pay-per-view. What's your take on that, man? What is your take on that?
It's a bunch of craziness. You know, there's a lot of crazy things going on. You know, it's really cool to see the Shield reunite, but Braun Strowman, everything going on with him has been crazy. And I don't know, I just saw this just now. I don't know if it's necessarily breaking, but they booked a cage match next week between Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns on Raw. Yeah. So, do you expect that the Shield's going to get involved in that match? Or are we going to see the Miz and the Miz Taraj come out? You know, a bunch of craziness going on. So, it's very exciting to see this kind of stuff happening and that they're being able to get unique angles, get certain guys reunited to get that nostalgia kind of feel while guys are still fresh rather than doing it when guys are already stale. So, a lot of excitement going on with this.
Yeah, there is. And one thing I got to say is that with Shield coming back together, they come back together, they do the TLC pay-per-view, and then they take off. Okay, after the pay-per-view, are they going to stay together or are they going to separate again? You know, that's the thing right there. You know, it's like, does WWE really think that this is going to put Roman over because they're cheering the Shield? And does WWE think, you know, like, well, they're cheering Roman, so we finally did it after 5 years. We got him over. What?
Well, think about it. They're teaming him with two guys that were really big when they got on their singles runs. So it makes sense for them to try and keep them together. And also keep in mind, they came out with a new shirt. So, you know, usually if you're coming out with something, you're at least going to work a 1 month program. So, you know, I feel like they're probably going to stay together for a little while, maybe all the way up till Survivor Series, because I could see a Survivor Series style match happening eventually with these three involved. So I could see it carrying on at least for a little bit. But to the actual extent, who knows? WWE likes to change things at last second all the time, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing I want to throw out there, I was kind of upset about that they spoiled and already threw out there that Asuka's going to be showing up at TLC. You ruined the damn surprise for me, man. I was hoping just her to show up at TLC or just show up on a damn Monday Night Raw and just whip someone's ass, you know, kick them to death. But you know what? Thanks for ruining that for me now, because I'm not really looking too forward to her debut on the main roster. However, they did have a women's match, a 5-way elimination match, and I was shocked that Emma, out of all people, won. You expected Sasha Banks. Bailey, she got eliminated early, and then Sasha Banks got eliminated, and then I was like, Emma won? It's like, okay, well, they're giving her a push. I'm kind of glad to see that because you don't have Bailey and Sasha going back and forth and Alexa now, you know?
Well, I have a theory on this, though, and I think the reason they had Emma 1 is because I think Asuka is going to totally destroy Emma in a squash match. And the reason they didn't want to put someone like Sasha Banks or anybody like that into it is because they don't want to try and make them look weaker, because they're going to try, I think, to build up to better, more challenging matches for Asuka with those opponents. So in a fatal 5-way elimination, anything could happen. So at that point, you can't hold it against too many wrestlers if they get eliminated from that style of match. So I think Emma, honestly, is just sheep for the slaughter for Asuka. And I also I am with you with the fact I feel like I did want Asuka to come out randomly on Raw, beat the crap out of someone and get that shock value. But I feel like with how they're bringing in Asuka, having a 5-way women's elimination match, and for just the right to wrestle her on a pay-per-view, even though she hasn't debuted yet, I feel is them giving a lot of honor and a lot of respect to what Asuka is and her abilities. So I feel in a way it's kind of a trade-off. You know, we lose the surprise, but we see them really putting Asuka on a pedestal.
Yeah, and I believe they're going to let her stay undefeated, and she's going to be undefeated. She's going to run through the women's division. She's going to whip all of them until they bring someone up from NXT, say like a Billie Kay or a Peyton Royce. You know what I mean? And
I don't think they'll necessarily do that. You know what I could see them doing?
What's that?
Is waiting until Ember Moon makes her debut and letting her be the one to dethrone her possibly on a pay-per-view, maybe even Mania.
Exactly.
And doing something of that nature. Because I feel like if you're going to have Asuka lose this streak, which has already eclipsed Goldberg's streak by a large margin, you need to do it in a very special way. Do it at Mania. Save it for Mania. Make her champion and have her lose in an epic fashion. That's how you create memories. That's how you create moments. And that's what WWE is all about.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And yeah, they're gonna create something with Asuka and Ember Moon actually coming up. That's who I was gonna mention, but you beat me to it, man. And I
can't help myself. Good. It's been a while. I'm excited, so things are just happening. But there is one thing I wanted to ask you about. Damn! And I wanted to ask you about your take on Neville, the report of Neville walking out before Raw.
Yeah. The rumor is right now there's nothing concrete about this. It's hitting the internet right now that Neville did walk out on Monday Night Raw after the plans in the main event, the closing match with Enzo Amore defending the Cruiserweight title. Originally, the plans was that Enzo was going to defend the Cruiserweight title against Neville, and he was going to beat Neville. Okay. However, Neville did not like those plans, and he just turned around and he walked off. However, the match was changed with Kalisto coming in and beating Enzo and becoming the new Cruiserweight champion. However, there's been a lot of talent that's been in and out of the WWE. And when I have to talk about this, I got to crack open this big-ass can of Red's Wicked Apple Ale for my birthday. While I'm cracking this open here, ladies and gentlemen, I'll just mention that a lot of talent has come in and out of WWE, like I said. We've had Steve Austin get mad about a decision about not having a build-up match against Brock Lesnar back in 2003, I believe so, Chris. Was it 2003 or 2004 or 2002?
The infamous take your ball and go home incident. That would be mid to late 2003, they wanted Steve Austin to job out to Lesnar on Raw in a quick match, and Lesnar felt that, Stone Cold felt that it was basically that WWE was making a dumb move because they felt that these were two big names that could have made a lot of money on a pay-per-view, and they just wanted to throw it out there on Raw for free. And he also didn't want the name of Stone Cold being tarnished because he was going to end up being squashed by Brock Lesnar.
Exactly. So he left the company. He walked out. We've had, CM Punk, 2014, January of 2014, after the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
He walked out.
Yes, because he was upset with the fact that The Rock was put over and that someone like Daniel Bryan wasn't being pushed.
Right. Which they did listen to him. And, of course, WrestleMania 30, I believe is the modern day WrestleMania to date. I mean, I just want to briefly say you had Daniel Bryan open up the pay-per-view with an awesome match against Triple H. Then you had him close the match in a triple threat against Randy Orton and Batista, and you've seen him walk out of there as champion.
And all three of those men were really big names for the company at all given times, especially Triple H. So, I felt WWE definitely rectified that situation to the max. So, I'm glad that they did that. But obviously that still didn't have CM Punk come back, but
Right, definitely. But one thing about it is that with everything that's gone on, Neville basically is doing what's been done before. He's basically walked out, and I believe that if he decides to walk out and leave the company, there's going to be a lot of opportunities towards him. The Young Bucks have already reached out to Neville about, God who knows what, but it's going to be awesome. And, Dolph Ziggler, he's on his way out the door. I mean, look what he's been doing here with Bobby Roode. That's a perfect example. With talent just getting, they have a reason and they leave, but one day down the road, eventually they'll come back. Look at Bret Hart. Look what happened with Bret Hart. Look how long that took. He came back to the company. Look at Steve Austin.
It's happened with numerous people. Look at guys like Rob Van Dam.
Mm-hmm.
You got to look at numerous names. A guy who wasn't even in the company ever, Sting. Nobody thought he would ever come work for WWE, and he worked WWE.
Yep.
Scott Hall came back. Kevin Nash came back.
Hogan.
Kurt Angle has come back.
Yep.
Hogan, Hogan came back a couple of times.
Yeah.
So, everybody always ends up coming back. But the plus that you see, especially with guys, I feel like with the Cody Rhodes and whatnot, that there's guys that end up leaving the company, are able to temper themselves, having been on that big stage, and now they're on a different kind of stage where they have more freedom to express themselves because they don't have WWE breathing down their neck. They don't have creative trying to force them into certain angles. So they're able to have more freedom, and they're able to explore themselves and their characters and being able to get what they need. And then once they come back, they are a force to be reckoned with. You can even apply that type of mantra to the Hardy Boys. Everybody loved the Hardy Boys. The Hardy Boys were over. But when they split up into singles competition, Matt Hardy was not as easily followed. His gimmick was kind of bland. Interesting here and there, but it was generally bland. And Jeff Hardy was just kind of coasting off his own previous successes. So when they left and then came back, it was amazing because now they are into a new gimmick. They've been able to find themselves, find what works for them, and now they're huge. So hopefully, though, that we'll be able to actually see the Broken Universe come back full force, but still, they've been able to get over.
Yeah. Everyone comes back, and I believe Neville, he decides to leave the company and just go on. He'll go out and he'll become a bigger star because, like Cody did. Cody left, and look at him. He's become a bigger star than what he was in WWE. He's more successful than what he was in WWE. And Neville, if he goes out and does the same thing, basically that's going to happen. That is going to happen.
Well, another thing I want to point out about Neville as well is that Neville was a very big name indie star before he came to WWE when he wrestled under the name Pac. And he had world-renowned matches in ROH and whatnot. So he is a guy that's going to land somewhere. But an interesting thing that you look at is that when he started his career in NXT and early on when he debuted on the main roster is that he didn't fully find himself. He was really coasting on his wrestling ability, which was definitely top notch. But now he's been able to get to the gritty heel character of what his character is. He's able to get to those depths. So he ends up back in ROH or PWG or over in New Japan, wherever he lands. You're going to see something amazing come from him. And because of that, a few years down the line, WWE is going to want him back. It's just how that's going to work, and they're going to push him like no tomorrow.
McShaft.
Chris Carnage is opinionated tonight. Got to bear with me.
McShaft wrote, I didn't get my total shot, so I'm walking out my, I guess he was saying title shot. Total shot.
Type right. Damn it, McShaft.
McShaft, you're here. This is what I'd give you for just saying that. Super kick to the head. Well, you make a good point. You argue a good point. I agree with that because you're Chris Carnage. No, I agree or disagree with you because you're Chris Carnage. No, autocorrect. Well, you could I'm not going to go there, McShaft. Now, one thing I'm going to say, is that I don't know what the hell they're going to be doing at Raw now. I mean, the only interesting thing you could say it's interesting next week is, like you mentioned, we got a steel cage match with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. The Shield, they'll probably interfere. The Miztourage, they'll probably interfere. Sheamus and Cesaro, they'll probably interfere. They'll rip down the damn cage, and then it'll be a big brawl, and then that's basically what's going to happen, I'm assuming.
Of course, because you don't have anything else really going on. You might maybe see Emma try to come out and cut a promo on Asuka. You might see Miz cut another promo of being an asshat. Mm-hmm. You know, it'll be a wonderful promo, but Miz is an asshat. Yep. So at the end of the day, they don't have anything really going. And what upsets me about that is there's not going to be any focus on the Universal title now.
Right.
You notice that they've lured Braun Strowman away from that to get involved with this angle with the Shield, which will be good, but there's no focus on the Universal Championship anymore. And I think that is not only, disrespectful to the belt, but you can't have a guy be part-time like Lesnar and be champion. It doesn't work. You need to see your champion. That's just how it is. Now, who knows? We might get surprised. They might bring Lesnar out, but as far as I understand, they don't have anything planned for him for TLC.
They don't.
So,
they don't. They don't
so
have
at the end of the day, unless they plan on planning something tomorrow on next Monday night, I just see Lesnar's probably staying away until Survivor Series, and then you might not see him again until the Rumble, and then not again until Mania, and then he's going to be gone after that. So, it's you're thinking we're going to end up going a 5-6 month span and barely see the Universal Champion?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, but
it is.
But like the old saying goes, not my monkey, not my circus. So, WWE is going to do what they're going to do, and who knows, maybe they'll surprise us, but I don't expect it.
I like to hear other people's opinion about this. Let me throw up the phone line number right here. Why don't you call in at 386-206-1595. What is your take on talent leaving a company and eventually coming back if they decide to come back? Do you think they'll be more successful going off, or will they crash and burn? Give us a call and let us know. Chris, I heard you got some...
Yes?
What's that? What?
You rang for Chris Carnage?
Yeah, I rang for Chris Carnage. Chris, what?
You know what, though?
What's that?
There is one more thing I did want to kind of point out there, is that I feel like there's certain guys right now in WWE that were on their way to being pushed to superstardom. And I mean upper echelon, Edge, Triple H, Kurt Angle kind of guys that now are stagnating in horrific storylines. And one that I feel like they're really doing a disservice right now is Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
Because one thing we did not mention yet is Sister Abigail was on Raw.
Yeah, Sister Abigail was on Raw. And it was Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt has a Sister Abigail, but also if you really look at the story, what's been going on too, Sister Abigail never did die. She's alive though, but Bray's taken on the persona of Sister Abigail. And Finn Balor has the demon. Bray Wyatt has Sister Abigail. So is he going to be wrestling in the tutu out there?
That's what I'm saying, man. That's just ridiculous. The Demon King makes sense. Finn Balor's whole thing makes sense, but the Sister Abigail thing, I always thought was going to end up being some kind of person that was going to come out and help Bray Wyatt in some way or something of that nature. But for them to have Bray Wyatt basically be Sister Abigail with whatever horrificness they had on him to be Sister Abigail, I don't know if that was some type of Snapchat filter or Instagram thing. I don't know. It was horrible.
Yeah, so, it was just...
Yeah, and like you alluded to, what are they going to end up doing? Having the Demon King versus Sister Abigail? Like, really? Think about that. So,
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
And I feel like they are really wasting both of these wrestlers right now in this horrific storyline.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. It is. McShaft said Bray Jenner.
Bray Jenner much? That's what I'm saying. It's utterly ridiculous. But hey, this is WWE on Creative.
I know. You should have heard the thing that we talked about, Bray Wyatt's. Will McShaft, what about Bray Wyatt as Bane Wyatt? We were talking about that one day. Wyatt. Bane Wyatt.
That would be more believable.
It's like, Bray comes out and McShaft said he would shit himself if Bray come out wearing like the Bane mask, gets a promo, on Finn Balor. He's like, oh, so you're the Demon King, aren't you? Yes. I was born before the demon. I was molded in it.
You know what? But that would be way more believable than this crap with Sister Abigail. So, hats off to you, McShaft, for that suggestion. WWE on Creative should take some notes.
Yes, they should take notes. We need to have a actual Sister Abigail come out. We don't need Bray to come out, like Rocky Horror Picture Show, for God's sakes, man.
Exactly. That was some ridiculousness, but... it is what it is at this point, and we'll see how everything shakes out. WWE has come up with some horrific ideas over the years, including chopping off Val Venus's penis, among other things. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we definitely will. You said chopped off this pee-pee, huh?
Wolfman's got heart.
Oh my goodness. But
have some,
shifting gears, though.
Yeah, shifting gears.
There was some exciting NFL action over the weekend. Did you catch any of the games?
No, I didn't get to catch really much of anything. But what do you have about the NFL? Okay. What the hell's going on with the NFL? Tell me.
Oh, there's a lot of craziness going on right now. But the thing is that this whole weekend was a topsy-turvy weekend. We saw the Patriots squeak out a 5-point win over the Buccaneers at Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston looked great, but had couple drops and a couple misguided throws. And basically at the end, the Buccaneers had a chance to steal the game, but weren't able to complete a pass in the end zone. Patriots walk away 19-14 and are now 3-2 on the season. But my awesome, amazing Philadelphia Eagles literally beat the crap out of the Arizona Cardinals 34-7 to improve to 4-1 on the season and currently hold the NFC East lead. Carson Wentz went 21 for 30 for 304 yards and 4 touchdowns, 3 of those coming in the first quarter alone. So, I'm really excited about my Eagles. But we did see some teams fail horrifically, like the Eagles' biggest rival, the New York Giants, falling 0-5, and they lost to a winless team in the San Diego Chargers. The Giants fell 27-22 and lost many players along the way, including Odell Beckham Jr. for the season with a broken ankle. They also lost Brandon Marshall for the season with a messed up ankle, and they ended up losing another receiver. I'm not sure what his injury was, but you lose 3 big-time receivers, you're pretty much screwed. So they're sitting 0-5, just lost pretty much their whole receiving core, so hopefully they're going to be done for. But the biggest surprise, I feel, of the weekend was the Jacksonville Jaguars coming out on top of the Pittsburgh Steelers 30-9, holding them to 3 field goals, and Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 interceptions. Maybe he's done. Maybe he's in the twilight of his career now. Who knows? But we'll see later on this weekend. And it's just been a crazy one. We had a nice, exciting game between the Packers and the Cowboys, and the Packers, under the yet again amazing heroics of Aaron Rodgers, were able to drive down the field and get a touchdown with little time left to steal the game from the Cowboys 35-31 and improve to 4-1 on the season. And we still also have our undefeated Chiefs, who beat the Texans 42-34 behind Alex Smith, 29 for 37, 9 for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, you know, a lot of craziness going on. And of course, everything was wrapped up with our Monday night game with the Vikings squeaking out one against the Chicago Bears, 20-17, after Sam Bradford went down in the first half. So a lot of crazy football happened. There's going to be a lot of craziness happening in this upcoming week. So people need to keep their eyes peeled and go watch some football.
Yes, definitely do. Probably here tomorrow, I may catch some MLB, you know. I'm wanting to check out to see what's going on. I got the MLB Network, which I haven't had time to really watch because since I have PlayStation View, and I'm gonna check out and see what's playing, man.
I'm sad about baseball right now because as much as I hate to say, my Boston Red Sox were eliminated from playoffs after winning the AL East by 2 games over the Yankees, and we lost to the Houston Astros 3-1. And we ended up firing our manager, John Farrell. So now we're looking for a new manager and are just looking at next season. But right now, the New York Yankees are up on the Cleveland Indians 3-2 in the top of the 7th.
Yes.
1 man out, man on first. So keep your eyes peeled, people. There's some exciting baseball right now. And the Washington Nationals came back and tied the series 2-2 against the Chicago Cubs, the defending World Series champions. And they won that game 5-0. So definitely some exciting baseball going on.
Yeah, there definitely is some exciting baseball. Jennifer say don't knock her Giants.
Well, guess what? They lost to the Eagles on a heroic Jake Elliott 61-yard field goal, and they're gonna lose again this season.
Wow. Sports by Chris Carnage is brought to you by the Pigskin Chronicles. Check out Pigskin Chronicles Facebook page, facebook.com/Pigskin Chronicles. Am I saying that right? You didn't mute yourself again, didn't you?
I did. But yeah, it's good old Pigskin Chronicle. Go ahead and check us out on Facebook. All you have to do is look for facebook.com/Pigskin Chronicle, and you can see us there. And another thing they cover is college football. We can't forget about that. A lot of exciting stuff. We had a huge upset this past weekend.
Yeah, my volunteers, man. My volunteers. What the hell's been happening, man?
Your volunteers are falling apart. And now they're going to be starting a new quarterback against South Carolina this weekend. Quarterback Warrantano or whatever his name is. So you guys are digging to the bottom of the barrel. But you know what's awesome?
Yeah.
My Notre Dame Fighting Irish are 5-1. Our only loss coming to the dominant Georgia Bulldogs. We lost to them by 1 point, and we actually led most of that game. So, we're looking pretty strong, and now we're ranked 16th in the nation. So we'll see how things work out. But you look at the rest of the AP poll, Alabama still sits number 1 at 6-0, receiving 43 of the first place votes, with Clemson close behind, and then Penn State, Georgia, and the University of Washington rounding out our top 5, followed by TCU, Wisconsin, the surprising Washington State Cougars, Ohio State, and Auburn rounding out your top 10. So there's a lot of exciting things going on right now in college football. And as I was alluding to earlier, you notice I did not say Oklahoma in that top 10 because they were upset by none other than Iowa State, of all teams, falling 38-31, and definitely showing some weakness with that team. So who knows what's going to happen with Oklahoma.
Oh, damn. Yeah, who knows, man. Oklahoma's pretty damn good team, man. I know I listened to Jim Ross's podcast, JR, The Ross Report, and he, of course, man, I mean, he's an Oklahoma Sooners, he's a big fan.
Oh, he's a Sooner through and through, but the Oklahoma has a big test this weekend when they take on rival Texas Longhorns in the good old Red River rivalry.
Yep, they definitely will, man. They definitely will. Well, want to move on and talk about some movie stuff, man. Movie stuff. There's been a lot of stuff going on about movie news and movie stuff that's been happening. Did you catch the Star Wars trailer? The latest Star Wars trailer, man.
Oh my goodness! They debuted it Monday night. I don't remember if it was during Monday Night Football, but they ended up broadcasting that, and it just captivated me. There's so much intrigue, so much going on, so much that they were alluding to, and it just gets me more and more hyped. I cannot wait. I still have to wait yet another 2 months to see this damn movie, but I tell you what, they got me nothing but more hyped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am looking forward to actually seeing this, man, because if you remember, a few months ago we had the Super Radio Brothers on our podcast for Draft Tuesday. Remember, we asked Rich about Star Wars: A Force Awakens, and he basically gave his opinion about it. A lot of people feel like that, which I was surprised about. I'm like, really? A lot of people hated Star Wars: The Force Awakens, but what the only thing they hated about that was with The Force Awakens was that it was a rehash of what the magic, the lightning in a bottle, from A New Hope they're trying to capture. Now this one here, the trailer, all I got to say is, it's hyped me up because I definitely want to see it because they've released a little by little, and then out of nowhere, like this past Monday, bam, there's your new Star Wars trailer.
And they released Dang it, I muted myself again. Too much craziness. Might need to do some updating on this computer. But there's a lot of nice stuff coming on. You know what else they released too? Is they released a new Star Wars poster for this film that a lot of people are looking at, and if you draw lines a certain way, it's in the shape of Darth Vader's mask. So there's a lot of intrigue with what they're trying to allude to, because I feel like they're alluding to a lot of dark side presence in this new Star Wars movie. That there's going to be a lot of crazy and exciting things happening, but you never know.
Yeah, let me pull this up here. You're talking about the new poster, right? All right.
Oh yeah, new poster has them all front and center. Has even Luke Skywalker on there now in a more prominent
Is it the one
positioning.
you're trying to have up on my screen right now? Is it that picture?
Hold on, let me jump on over. Because of technical difficulties, I had to restart my browser. So I will talk incessantly as Chris Carnage until I am able to reach to the point where I am there. Gotta love slow internet.
Oh, okay. Let me just do this then. Okay.
No, it's not that way. It actually has a red background to it.
Is it
a little more prominent?
Is it this one here? Let me I'm trying not to close my browser out, because if I close out completely, then the live stream, I kill it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that.
That is ill-advised.
we already seen what happens when I don't update my video software. It just basically takes a shit on everything. All right, let me.
You know what? Hold on. I need to say something right now to McShaft. Shockmaster for the Hall of Fame 2018. You are out of your mind. Just saying.
I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
It'd be like.
It was a more prominent poster. It just released, so it might be a little bit harder to find at the moment. But
you're talking about this one right here. Let me pull this one up right here. Is it that one? Let me close this picture out right there. Is it this one right here?
That would be the one right there. Yes.
Oh yes. Okay.
That's the new one. They say with the positioning of all the heads in this picture, it gives way to Darth Vader's mask, especially when it comes to the 3-point triangle of using the heads of our main, of Leia, I can't remember what they called that guy now. So bad of me. But you look at our 3 lower characters here, and it's in a triangular shape if you draw the lines, connect the dots basically, and it gives way to a Darth Vader silhouette or ensemble, however you want to put that. So there feels going to be a lot of dark forces in this one, a lot of dark side presence, which is interesting because when you look at The Empire Strikes Back or even Attack of the Clones, there's a lot of darkness in those sequels to those original trilogies. So who knows what we're going to see here? And a lot of things they're alluding to, and even in the trailer, could Rey be turning to the dark side? Is she going to be joining Kylo Ren? How are things going to work out? So a lot of interesting intrigue here. Even give away to Luke Skywalker being fearful of a power that he has seen before. I'm really intrigued by this movie.
I'm studying this picture, okay, with my artistic eye. I have this artistic eye right here, I'm looking at this, and I don't see Darth Vader's mask. I see like a Venus flytrap.
Trust me, I might have to send you the image at some point, but it's a big theory going right now since the release of this poster and of the trailer that could be some really dark things happening. But either way, we're going to have to wait till December to see it. But there is another movie coming out that I'm equally interested in that also just released recently, a new trailer, and that is Justice League.
Oh, God, man. I saw that, man. They're teasing Superman so bad with this. It just kills me, man. It just kills me. I'm like, really? They're teasing.
Let's not forget, in the comics, Superman was reincarnated.
Yeah. Well, actually, he didn't die from Doomsday. When Doomsday punched him, he put him in a deep sleep, and he wakes up.
There you go. So,
yeah. That
at the end of the day, he's gonna come back.
Oh yeah. He is gonna come back. It's not the Justice League without Superman, man. Bruce Wayne can. Batman can only hold it together for so long. I mean, look who the hell he's, working with here, for God's sakes.
Exactly. Now, my question, though, is Justice League going to outdo the Avengers?
I don't think it will. I do not think it will, because for the fact of the matter is that, for one, you got Joss Whedon, okay? You had him come in because Zack Snyder had to leave because of unfortunate circumstances. All right, you got Zack Snyder coming in, all right? And with Zack Snyder coming in, leaving, you had Joss Whedon coming in. And what Joss Whedon did for the Avengers, he's basically just touching up everything that there is with what he's already created. Now the thing is, okay, now he's just touching up what's already been shot, and he's doing scenes or retouching up scenes and stuff, extended scenes and all that stuff. Now, here's the thing. You don't think that he's actually going to rewrite? They said he's not changing anything that's already written because everything's set in stone. You don't think they're just saying that for the fact of the matter is, it's DC's this guy's made the Avenger and made Marvel franchise so successful. Let's go ahead and let him give him a little bit of the reins and see what he can do with this product, because Zack Snyder already pissed off a lot of comic book fans, basically saying that comic book movies are not supposed to be comical and comic and fun and happy like the Avengers. They're supposed to be dark and gloomy and stuff. And a lot of people did not like A Man of Steel because they said that's not the Superman that they know of. And I understand they're trying to make it kind of dark and create the realism of what the Dark Knight, Batman Begins franchise was. However, a character like Superman deserves to be bright and shiny, not dark and gloomy like Batman. And Zack Snyder's setting the tone that he stuck his foot in his mouth by basically saying that every superhero movie needs to be like this. Well, not exactly. Not every movie needs to be like freaking Watchmen. Okay, you basically took Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice and turned it into a dark, gloomy Watchmen, and that's why it became the most successful but failing movie of last year, because of that and because of Zack Snyder's vision. And with Zack Snyder's vision, DC's like, well, you know what, this guy's done really good. He brought in all his money for that movie. However, the thing is, with him bringing in everything for that movie, all the money and stuff, it's actually, again, like I said, hurt, because a lot of people went to go see it to check it out so they can come back and criticize and review about it. It kind of helped it out in a way, but in a way it didn't, because of the backlash of the criticism. Now, DC's like, well, you made a lot of money for us. It's like, you know what? Everything for the rest of these spin-off movies for The Flash, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Aquaman should be set with your tone and everything that you're saying, because, and your vision and what you've done for us for DC. You should have a say in everything that goes on. In a way that screws directors that's directing each individual movie for the creativity of that character. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
And it's killing it, you know? It's like Marvel basically saw about back in 2008, Marvel with the first Iron Man. If you watch the first Iron Man, at the end of the credit scenes, you had Nick Fury appear from the shadows in Tony Stark's house, and he says, we're going to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative. From 2008 all the way up to now, they mapped out the last, 8 years of where they're going with their movies. And they basically threw it out there. Yeah, 9 years. They threw that all out there and said, this is what we're doing. They're executing everything. Here's a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. It's like bam, 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 bam. Marvel's delivered. Marvel has come out and said, yeah, this is happening, that's happening. What's DC's been happening? I mean, DC, for example, the Flash movie, they already had to change directors twice. They already had to do rewrites twice. With the Justice League movie, they had to do reshoots to add more time with Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman became actually a hit that no one expected for DC.
Right.
Have you heard anything about the Aquaman or Cyborg, especially the Cyborg movie? Okay. What DC does not got their shit together. Marvel does. That's the thing.
I think it's because DC's freaking out and they're trying to play a game of catch up with Marvel.
Yeah. They are. They're trying to, but Marvel's so far ahead with everything that they've done and released already. They're not going to catch up. They're not going to catch up. The only way they're going to actually be successful is getting everything right and down with the source material and do it right, because if they don't do it right and they keep blundering here and there, they're going to lose a lot of people. You know, just like they lost a lot of readers back years ago with the Doomsday comic with Superman. Did you know,
right,
Carnage, that was the most successful DC comic they ever put out, because it sold millions, because it was the death of Superman. However,
oh dude,
yeah, however,
I had a copy.
Yeah, and it's hard to find an original copy and stuff. However, the thing with that is it was the most successful comic, which brought in tons of money. But at the same time, when they released the story with the 4 people that showed up that said they are the real Superman, that story and how it went and everything with the return, like I said, to Superman, when he basically comes back and they're like, you're not dead. And he was like, yeah, Doomsday just knocked me out, and I went into a deep sleep, and I'm awake now. Really? That they made money, and
he was savagely beaten in that comic.
Yeah, he was. I remember reading that, man. It was terrible. Superman, that Superman comic made the millions, DC millions, and it lost the millions at the same time. You know, I mean, they don't get their shit together. They just keep going and pondering here and there, and just, it's like Marvel listens to the fans. DC is basically like, yeah, that's fine. We'll take care of it. We know what we're doing. You know, it's like DC. It's like sometimes I just want to get on Twitter and tweet to DC. It's like, DC, get your stuff together, man. Get it together. You know, but all in all, I will, since I'm a fan of Batman, Justice League, and all comics in general, comic book related stuff. I am going to go see this to see what happens. You know what I mean? I do want to see it. Oh, yeah, and I will too. I do want to see it. I want to see it because I'm interested in one thing. How are they going to bring back Superman, and how do they do it? Because this is going to determine if I really do want to see anything else DC's going to throw out there movie-wise. However, on the TV front, they're doing really successful. You got CW shows like Supergirl, The Flash, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow. You also got Gotham. You know what I mean? They're doing successful with that. On the movie front, they're struggling. They're trying to, like I said, they're trying to find their footing and everything. Unlike Marvel, who's got their stuff together. However, Marvel does all right with their TV shows. Like, they have, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know what I mean? And
Luke Cage.
Yeah, well, the Netflix universe of Marvel, they're kicking ass, man. They're definitely kicking ass.
Oh, yeah.
Like Daredevil, oh, my God. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, The Defenders was everything I hoped and wished for, and I was satisfied. And with The Punisher coming out, did you hear about what happened with The Punisher? Did you see that new Punisher trailer? Oh my God.
I actually have not been able to watch it yet, but I did hear it is utterly brutal. And I have heard people even say that this is truly what Punisher is supposed to be. So I'm really excited to see how this series is going to go. But I heard a rumor, and confirm if you've heard, that they're going to be delaying when this is going to be debuting.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely going to be delaying it because of everything, like I mentioned at the beginning of the program, about what happened in Las Vegas. They pulled out at the last minute at the New York Comic-Con with the panel talking about when the Punisher's coming out and everything. They pulled out at the last minute because of everything going on in the real world. Because real world events and that fantasy world of the Punisher was almost running line to line with assault, automatic assault weapons. And they basically pulled out, and they will release Punisher, the Netflix series, on a date later on the come. Also, rumor is they're thinking about maybe they may just drop it on a Friday like they've done all their other Netflix shows. Just drop it randomly out there.
And just be like, surprise.
Yep, there you go. So that may happen, but don't expect Punisher to show up in with your, getting a notification or email that, we just added a Punisher to Netflix. Don't expect that anytime soon, though. But when it does drop, man, you will not be dissatisfied with what you will see.
For sure.
Yep. Well, Chris, you have anything else you want to add?
Tell you what, make sure that you keep up with Chris Carnage. I know I've been away for a while, but Chris Carnage is going to be a little bit more active, hopefully, here over the next however many weeks, months, years, who knows. So definitely make sure you check out Chris Carnage on the official Chris Carnage Facebook page at facebook.com/Chris Carnage Official. You can also catch me on Twitter at Planet Carnage. And you can also go get you some Chris Carnage swag. Go to ccepresents.bigcartel.com. Get yourself a Hey Fan shirt. Get one of our stickers. Any number of items on there. So go check it out.
That's right. And one thing I do want to mention, since you mentioned swag too, you got swag at other place sales too, man.
Got swag in other sites.
Yes, you do. You got swag right here, ladies and gentlemen, listening and viewing the live stream. Head over to everetleeshow.weebly.com for the latest ELS and Chris Carnage merchandise, man. If you're a fan of ELS and Chris Carnage, well, you can show your support with the latest ELS and Chris Carnage swag. Head over to everetleeshow.weebly.com and click on the merch tab to get your ELS and Chris Carnage t-shirts. Look for special promo codes when available, such as percentage off and free shipping when you buy an ELS or Chris Carnage swag. Head over to everetleeshow.weebly.com and click on the merch tab to get your ELS and Chris Carnage t-shirts.
Do it.
Do it. And speaking of do it, I want to mention about where you can listen to the latest ELS podcast at right here. I'm trying to pull this up here. I know everyone's looking at the t-shirt. They're like, come on, man, just get to it. Well, I am getting to it right here. You can listen to Everett Lee's show on Libsyn. Head over to everetleeshow.libsyn.com. Head over there, and you can listen to the latest podcast with the download link available. Stitcher Radio. Everett Lee Show is on Stitcher Radio. Download that app for your smartphone and tablet, or head over to stitcher.com/podcast/Everett Lee Show. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a comment on the section provided on the Stitcher.com website. Everett Lee Show is on iTunes. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating or leave us a comment on iTunes. Download the latest ELS episode for your iPhone and your iTablet. And you can support ELS on patreon.com/ELS_DT. Right there, ladies and gentlemen. So you have all the information there to download episodes and to listen to the audio version of ELS. You just got to do it, man. You just gotta do it.
Do it.
Just do it! No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it!
That's right. Shia LaBeouf tells you to do it. Do it now. Just like Arnold says, do it now. Well, Chris, you know what today is, don't you?
It is your mother effing birthday.
Heck yeah. It's my birthday. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
That's right, man. Appreciate it. I've had a lot of people, a lot of calls calling in, wish me a happy birthday. I'm drinking a big-ass, tall can boy of Red's Apple Ale. So, like Stone Cold Steve Austin said, I'm just drinking some beer and whipping some ass. I'm about to kick what? I'm about to kick ass, chew bubble gum, but I'm all out of gum. What? Oh, man. Well, it's pretty crazy, man. I am so glad you're back and you've showed up and you brought gas.
God, what the fuck is that?
What? Ozzy. I actually hit my soundboard. Trying to minimize stuff. I said, yeah, I'm glad you came back and you brought some gas. I mean, guest. I think the alcohol is affecting me. So you know what that means.
That means you need to go drink another, and we need to wrap her up.
Yep, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to hit this intro music, and we are out of here. Be sure to follow Everett Lee Show on Twitter. Send me a tweet at the Everett_Lee. You can check me out on Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Stop by there and click that like button. Also, Again, visit the everetleeshow.weebly.com website of ELS. I am Everett Lee, and I'm out of here. Chris,
farewell.
We will see you again next week for another episode of ELS.